This city looks impossible. It is a labyrinth of golden-hued stone stacked upon a hill like a geological layer cake. It doesn't look like it was built in the traditional sense. It looks as if it was carved from the very bedrock of the mountain, seamlessly emerging from the dust of history. But what makes Mardin truly unique, what makes it a profound lesson for the modern world, is not just how it looks. It is the quiet, stubborn resilience of the people who lived here. For over 2 millennia, across the rises and falls of countless empires, the inhabitants of this city managed the unimaginable. They lived together. This is the story of Mardin, the city where faiths didn't just tolerate one another, they shared the same roof. Mardin is situated in the southeastern corner of Türkiye, a region that feels like the edge of the known world, yet is undeniably its birthplace. It is perched dramatically on a ridge, overlooking the vast, legendary plains of Mesopotamia. This land is known globally as the cradle of civilization. This is the sacred geography where agriculture began, where the first cities were organized, and where the human need for writing first emerged from clay tablets. Mardin does not merely sit on this immense history, it dramatically rises from it. It is a living fortress, looking out over the source of human civilization. That view alone changes your perspective. It reminds you that everything you consider modern is just a fleeting moment in a much grander timeline. Every single historical building in Mardin is constructed from the same material. The local Mardin stone, a beautiful golden yellow limestone. This uniformity is no accident. This stone gives the city its extraordinary unified appearance, as if an architect designed the entire metropolis at once, rather than letting it grow organically over time. But Mardin was never meticulously planned. It evolved slowly, surely, layer upon layer, like the history it represents. Its strategic location made it a priceless prize, and the powerful came and went in a dizzying parade. The armies of the Romans, the spiritual dominance of the Persians, the conquering horsemen of the Arabs, the sophisticated rule of the Seljuks, finally the long reign of the Ottomans. Yet through every siege, every change of flag, every political upheaval, the city managed to keep its original, deeply rooted soul intact. The stone itself seems to absorb the sun, the wind, and the history, refusing to surrender its golden identity. It is a city that outlives its conquerors. Mardin stands as one of the extremely rare places on earth, where multiple faiths didn't just maintain a formal, distant coexistence. They were functionally intertwined on a daily, communal level. Walk the narrow, vaulted streets, the Abaras, and within a short distance you encounter a beautiful, austere mosque, an ancient Syriac church often built in the same style as the mosque, and historically the communal courtyard of a Jewish quarter. For centuries, Muslims, Syriac Christians, Armenians, and Jews lived side by side. They didn't just share the same stone neighborhoods, they shared the same indispensable resources. They often used the same bakeries, they drew water from the same communal well. Their children played the same games in the same alleyways. Their shared culture was not religious tolerance, it was pragmatic necessity and deep local custom. When a festival was celebrated by one group, their neighbors from a different faith often participated or at least respected the joy and the silence. This was not a perfect utopia. Tensions existed, as they do everywhere, but it was a tangible, daily, and living coexistence that defined the city's character. Mardin is arguably the most critical stronghold remaining for Syriac or Assyrian Christianity, an ancient branch of the faith. This is a civilization that still speaks and preserves Aramaic, a language Jesus himself spoke. It is a language profoundly older than Arabic, older than modern Turkish, and its echoes reverberate through the stone churches. Visit the great monasteries like Derul Zafaran, the Saffron Monastery, which has stood here for over 1,500 years. Inside its walls, time feels not just slower, but literally suspended. Here, you see the living thread of history. The Syriac Orthodox community, though now smaller, maintains its customs, its rich liturgy, and its language with a quiet, powerful determination. These communities are living libraries, custodians of a cultural heritage that stretches back to the very dawn of Christianity in the region. They are not a relic, they are a deep, breathing reservoir of the past. Mardin doesn't try to impress or overwhelm you with glittering modernity. It carries the wisdom of old age. It watches silently. The most profound feature of the city is its perpetual view, staring outward across the seemingly infinite, flat expanse of the Mesopotamian plain. That view is a constant, humbling reminder. Political borders are temporary, they are new and flimsy concepts. This land, this geography, the cycle of the sun and the moon, this is ancient, eternal. Mardin teaches a crucial lesson. Patience and humility are the true engines of survival. Empires rise and fall on the plain, but the people who hold the mountain, who respect the stone and the neighbor, they endure. The unique history of Mardin is tasted directly in its food. The cuisine is a flavorful convergence. It blends the heavy use of spices from the old eastern trade routes with the specific ingredients of the Mesopotamian harvest. Recipes for dishes like kibbeh and complex rice dishes are silently passed down, carrying the memory of multiple cultures. Life here is fundamentally slower. Conversations are not transactions, they are shared moments. Tea is not rushed. It is a ritual, especially the distinct, often strong murra coffee, served in tiny cups. While the noise and speed of modern life have reached Mardin, tradition still holds the lead role. The pace of the old city acts as a natural break, slowing down the chaos of the 21st century. Mardin is far more than a beautiful city of stone. It is an urgent reminder. It proves that deeply different identities, different gods, different languages, different traditions, can not only occupy the same physical space, but can also enrich it. They can share a world without losing themselves. In a global climate increasingly defined by division, separation, and cultural conflict, the quiet lesson whispered from the golden stone of Mardin is perhaps the most important one of all. That coexistence, imperfect and hard-won, is the highest form of civilization. If cities could choose how to communicate, Mardin would surely choose to whisper its wisdom, not shout its beauty. After hearing its story, would you make the journey to witness this golden city and walk its historic streets? Tell me your thoughts and what you would look for in Mardin in the comments below. And next week, we continue our relentless journey beyond Istanbul.